Hey everybody, this week we are supposed to talk about a time when we had a patient that we were trying to push them to do something that they didn't really want to do. And I had a patient many years ago when I was a brand new social worker. It was the first HIV patient I ever worked with. He was homeless, he was HIV positive, he was hepatitis positive, um, he was also schizophrenic, so he had a lot going on. And at that time, shelters wouldn't really take people who had HIV. So I found a shelter that would agree to take him, and I was really excited about him having a place to go. It was cold outside, and I didn't want him to have to sleep outside. He was sleeping in a graveyard at the time that he came into the hospital where I was working. And I went in to talk to him, and again, I was very excited, so proud of myself that I had found him this place to stay. So when I went in, I told him that we'd found a place for him to stay. He said no, he didn't want to stay in a shelter. Um, he wanted to go back and live in the graveyard where he had been staying before. And I honestly just couldn't believe it. I thought to myself, why would someone not want a place to stay when they're having to live outside and it's cold? So I really pushed him and you know, you need to go to the shelter, you need health care, you need people who are going to help take care of you. You're very sick, you're going to get sicker, and kind of on and on with that sort of talk. Um, if I had been trained in MI at the time, or even aware of MI at the time, it would have been a very useful tool. I probably would have approached him very differently and sat and talked through his situation more, um, maybe figured out why he was wanting to live in the graveyard, and I don't know, just let him lead that discussion a little more than what I did instead of telling him where he needed to go and why he needed to go there and what he needed to do. And as you're probably not surprised, my telling him what he needed to do was not super effective as he was discharged from the hospital and we discharged him back to the street. He left and went back out to the street with intentions of sleeping in the graveyard, and he was readmitted and discharged and readmitted and discharged. So it was a pretty vicious cycle. Um, but anyway, if I had known and utilized MI, the outcome for that could have been different. I think about that man pretty often, actually. So that's my story. Thank you. Hope you all are having a great week.